Okay, I welcome you all with love. Today, there's a lot of chaos in the world. And people, are you on the right, or you on the left? And there's a false polarity. What's needed is not leftist or rightist, but righteousness. Different way of thinking about things. Habakkuk 2:4, he said, "The righteous live by their faith in God alone." So we're talking about a way of living in the world that is honorable, that is one that creates peace, that is one that sanctifies all our actions, and uplifts the web of life of the living planet. Righteousness is what we're talking about. It's not self-righteousness. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about living in a way that uplifts the web of life on the planet. And it is living in a way that connects to the more perennial cosmic morality, cosmic ethics, living in a way that brings back the acknowledgement of God as the center of creation. We're talking about a way that's a lifestyle that puts the experience of the divine in the very center of our life. When we look at the rise and fall of societies, we're looking at a common phenomenon, which is when we move away from the truth of who we are, and which is we're not the body, we're not the mind, we're that, or I am that exists prior to consciousness. And we no longer identify with the physical body or the illusion of gender, and we see that we're prior to that. And we no longer identify with our mind, which is filled with all kinds of thought forms, which has nothing to do with who we are. Then we get back to our essence. And it's from there that the power of righteousness begins to guide us. And again, I want to emphasize, I'm talking not self-righteousness, not I'm better than that person, but it's a way of honoring everyone. It's a way, we call it vairagya, equal vision. We see the divine in everyone. It's viveka, the ability to tell the difference between the temporal reality and the cosmic reality. And living in a way that brings in the cosmic reality that guides us in how we live in the temporal reality. So it's a worldview, and it's living in the world. And if we look at, again, societies that have fallen, Rome is an example, they move away from the core of who they are. And then the moral degeneration takes place. And America is looking at that crisis today. We have an opportunity now, still, to go back to the holy ways, the God-based ways in which the country was founded, and really, which all humanity is based in, when we really get it, and turn things around. Or we can keep going. There's an old Chinese saying, if you head in a certain direction, you actually end up in that direction. So there is a need today to go back to the idea of righteous living, moral, ethical, based on the perennial ethics, go 10 speakings, the Buddhist Eightfold Path, the Yama Niyamas, the Vedas. It's a way of life that actually brings integrity to all that we do. It brings humility to all we do. It brings love to all that we do. And ultimately it brings oneness. And within oneness there are differences. Okay, fine. That is not a problem. If you don't take the differences personally. If you don't say, well, if that person is like me, then they're bad and I need to attack them. That's chaos. That's moral degeneration. So this is a very unique time in history where we really are given some warnings. We can see which way it goes and make real choices how we choose to live in the world. Are we going to choose in the way to utter sacredness in the world? Are we going to live in a way that's a blessing to everyone? Or are we going to live in a way that's a curse? And it is our choice. So may everyone choose well and choose consciously, because we are all responsible for what's happening. And may we live in a way that actually uplifts the consciousness of the global mind. Blessings everyone. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Takyo Asan. Okay, any questions? Anything out there?
I have a question.
Yes.
You know, in the world of social media, I feel the need to respond sometimes to declarations of people and what I perceive as utter nonsense. Am I better to resist the desire to respond, or just to respond if the purpose is to speak my truth?
So let's think about it a different way. We the idea of living with righteousness, not self-righteousness, is, I'm adding, speak your truth in a way that uplifts the other person. That's the real art of it. Why are we communicating? If not to uplift everyone else around us. Otherwise, what's the purpose? To be right? That's the way people are thinking today. I do understand that. But so I'm adding that caveat. Speak your truth in a way that uplifts the other person and gives them options to kind of see in a different way. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. It's a high order.
Of course it's a high order, but what else are we here for? Anybody else? It's really a great question because, in other words, instead of taking it as if somebody says something that we don't need to get offended, how can we uplift the discussion? It's huge today. What's going on? It's a little embarrassing to see so-called mature adults, we call politicians, doing things that are just, hey, I thought you learned better in kindergarten.
I'm not sure I can do that, so am I better off just resisting
Yes.
the conversation?
Yes. If you can't see a way to uplift that person and to uplift the situation and to sanctify the situation, better not to say anything. Silence is golden, so to speak. Any other questions? Okay, that's it. Okay, blessings to everyone. Again, shalom, 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 that means peace. Om shanti, 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 that means peace. Om atakyawasan, which is to all my relations. The rock people, the plant people, animals, flying ones, swimming ones, and the ones with history, the humans.